If you are exhausted from an ache that sleep cannot reach, listen closely. I know that feeling. The soul-deep fatigue of being a well everyone drinks from but no one ever fills. You watch others coast on a fraction of your effort, your care, your intelligence, and receive the recognition you crave. While you get the extra tasks, the forgotten promises, the emotional scraps. You've been taught your generosity is a strength. But I need you to understand a hard truth today. In the silent language of human dynamics, limitless giving is not seen as kindness. It is seen as an invitation. And what is freely offered is rarely valued. It is consumed until nothing remains. If you want this cycle to end, if you want to move from being a resource to being the author of your own life, there is one critical shift you must make. It will feel alien, perhaps even wrong, compared to everything you've been conditioned to believe about being good. But once you integrate it, the world will not fear your absence. It will anticipate your presence. Most people exist as background characters in narratives written by others. They are tools, valued for their function. You have been operating as a tool. You were taught that your worth is tied to your utility, that if you are helpful, you are secure. This is the foundational lie that keeps you trapped. By the end of this, we will dismantle that lie. We will carefully remove the people-pleasing code that marks you as a target for those who feed on compliance. This isn't about vague affirmations. This is about the underlying mechanics of personal power. We will explore the guardian at the gate principle. We will examine why being seen as completely safe is a profound disadvantage, and I will give you the psychological tools to become unshakable. This change is not cozy. It requires the quiet end of the person you are now, the one who says sorry for existing, the one who agrees when every cell screams no. That version must fade for the sovereign self to rise. The key isn't cruelty. It isn't about becoming a villain. It is about mastering a specific internal shift that forces the world to instantly recalculate your value. Most never find it. They live and die full of quiet resentment, but you are here, so let's begin. First, let's look at nature. A predator does not casually challenge another predator. The risk is too great. The energy cost is too high. A hunter targets the vulnerable, the isolated, the defenseless. When you present to the world as eternally agreeable, perpetually available, and never imposing, you are broadcasting that you are safe to exploit. You think you're signaling, "Look at me, I am peaceful." But the ancient, instinctual mind of everyone around you reads a different message: no cost. And where there is no perceived cost, there can be no genuine respect. Consider those you truly respect. Is it because they obey you? Is it because they could never challenge you? Of course not. You respect them because they possess a line, and you sense intuitively that crossing it would trigger a response. There is a latent power there. A man or woman who is harmless is not inherently moral. A harmless person is simply a gazelle. And a gazelle cannot choose virtue, it can only flee. True character is born from having the potential for fierce response, having the strength to speak the devastating truth, the capacity to walk away and let it all collapse, and consciously choosing not to. That is restrained power. That commands reverence. Right now you are being utilized because you have shown no edge. You have demonstrated that no matter the slight, the last-minute cancellation, the interrupted sentence, the missed promotion, the betrayal, you will remain. You will justify it. You will absorb it. You will try to empathize. Stop empathizing. Start observing. They are not confused. They are testing the fence. And every time they lean and it gives way, they learn they own the territory. You have taught them you are low-maintenance property. This is the first truth to digest. You are not solely a victim of their actions. You are a casualty of your own missing borders. You handed them the blueprint for your own depletion. Why? Because you are afraid. You are terrified that if you reveal your strength, your depth, they will abandon you. And buried deep, you believe your basic self is not enough to warrant their stay without your constant service. You believe if you stop producing, you cease to matter. This is the tragic bargain you've struck with life. You are trading obedience for scraps of approval. And it's a terrible deal. The initial step to halt the drain is to cease being harmless. It is to welcome the guardian. We'll get to the how. But first, we must see the trap's design. You are running a silent, one-sided negotiation. You don't realize you're doing it. You believe you're being noble, but psychologically you have an unspoken agreement with everyone in your life. It reads like this: I will suppress my desires. I will never show anger. I will perform every task flawlessly. And in return, you must cherish me, defend me, and never abandon me. The fatal flaw: you never showed them the terms. You signed it in your mind, and now you are enraged that they aren't upholding their invisible end. You're bitter they don't sacrifice for you as you do for them. But why would they? You made it effortless for them to take. This is the hidden face of the perpetual pleaser. It is a form of manipulation. It is a strategy to evade rejection by making yourself essential. If I am needed enough, I cannot be discarded. It is the logic of the servant seeking to avoid displeasure, but the servant remains in servitude. When you operate from this hidden contract, you are not gifting freely. You are lending with an expectation of high emotional interest. And when people fail to pay you back in the currency of unwavering validation, you turn sour. This acidity seeps out in passive remarks, in weighted silences after you've done a chore. It leaks in a cold shoulder. People detect it. They sense the bitterness on you, and it becomes repulsive. It makes them want to use you more because they lose esteem for you. They see a martyr, and no one honors a martyr while they live. You must shred that hidden contract. You must stop trading compliance for affection, because the affection earned through obedience isn't love. It's permission, and permission is a narcotic. It fades fast, leaving you desperate for the next dose. True regard, the kind that halts exploitation, only arrives when you act without an eye on repayment, or crucially, when you act from a place of self-directed purpose. There's an economic principle: opportunity cost. Every yes you utter costs you a no elsewhere. When you say yes to covering a shift while utterly drained, you are saying no to your own replenishment. When you say yes to disrespect, you are saying no to your own dignity. You are auctioning your life for far too little. The market price of a commodity that is always in surplus is zero. Oxygen is essential but abundant, so no one pays for it. A diamond is functionally useless but rare, so it is coveted. You are acting like oxygen. You must become a diamond. How? You cultivate scarcity. The human mind is engineered to treasure what it could lose. The dread of loss is a fiercer psychological engine than the hope for gain. Right now, no one fears losing you because you are a constant. You are furniture, useful when required, otherwise invisible. If the furniture suddenly vanished, they'd notice the empty space. You must learn the practice of strategic withdrawal. This isn't about mind games. This is about energy reallocation. When you sense you're being taken for granted, your instinct is to push harder, to explain, to plead. Don't you see all I do? Halt. Go silent. Pull your focus inward. The instant you withdraw your attentive energy, the balance shifts. Suddenly, the other person senses a void. They inquire, is everything okay? They aren't asking from deep care. They are checking because their resource has gone offline. They are seeing if the tool is broken. In this moment, you have a pivotal choice. You can soothe them. It's fine, don't worry, and plug back in. Or you can hold the quiet. You can center yourself. I'm just prioritizing some things at the moment. Ambiguity holds power. Total transparency is weak. When you are an annotated manual, people know which pages to rip out. When you are a sealed letter, they handle you with caution. You must grow comfortable with the distance between you and others. Most people panic in that space. They clog it with messages, with over-explaining, with nervous chatter. The person of power rests easily in the quiet. When you stop reaching out first, you see who seeks your essence and who merely seeks your function. Certain calls will stop. Good. Let the dead weight fall. You are so afraid of solitude that you cling to drains, but chosen aloneness is superior to forced servitude. In aloneness, you can create. In servitude, you can only comply. Applying scarcity to your presence raises your value. Your yes becomes costly. If you decline 90% of requests, the 10% you accept become occasions. They become honors. People will start to think, they said yes to me. I must be significant. See the reversal. Before, you were begging to be seen as significant. Now, by being selectively available, you make them feel significant when you engage. You have rewritten the narrative. You are the author. Let's go deeper into what Carl Jung called the shadow. He said, I'd rather be whole than good. To be whole, you must acknowledge your capacity for darkness. You must be able to be formidable. This is the shift promised in this video's title. The act you must take to stop being used is this. You must be willing to let the bridge catch fire while you are still on it. People use you because they know you are invested in the outcome. You need the position. You need the connection. You need the harmony. Whoever needs least holds most power. This is the unyielding law of dynamics. If you cannot walk away, you are a captive, and captives are exploited. To be able to walk away, you must foster a certain ruthlessness. Not toward others, but toward your own addiction to comfort. You must be willing to face the chaos of the unknown over the suffocation of the familiar. This demands integrating your assertive force. Assertion is not violence. Assertion is the vital energy to advance against opposition. It is the energy that states, this is my limit, cross it and there is a consequence. Without assertion, your limits are merely polite requests. They are lines drawn in dust, blown away by the first breeze. With integrated assertion, your limits are stone walls. Recall a time someone slighted you and you stayed quiet. You felt a fire in your core, a tension in your jaw. That was your shadow demanding expression. That was your self-respect trying to arm you, and you stifled it. You drank the poison to preserve a false peace. And the poison made you ill. Next time, let the fire rise. You need not shout. You need not battle. Simply meet their gaze with absolute calm and say, I do not accept that. Then, and this is vital, stop speaking. Do not explain, do not justify, do not apologize. Deliver the limit and inhabit the silence. The silence will feel immense. It will be tense. The other will fumble. They may joke. They may deflect. You're overreacting. You do not flinch. You hold the look. You are showing them the guardian. You are showing them that beneath the agreeable surface lies something immovable. This moment changes everything. Their mind reclassifies you from safe to use to respectfully potent. You have become a person of consequence. The reason you haven't done this is addiction to external validation. You need them to tell you you're acceptable. If they are upset, your inner world shatters. This is why you rush to mend things. You are trying to calm your own anxiety by managing their emotional state. You must develop emotional sovereignty. This means your inner condition is separate from their external reaction. If they are angry, let them be angry. Their emotions are not yours to process. Imagine you are a gray stone, smooth, uninteresting, solid. When a manipulator prods you, tries to induce guilt, tries to exploit you, you offer nothing. No drama, no emotional fuel. I can't take that on. But you always do. You're being difficult. I hear you, but the answer is no. Flat tone, steady eyes. You are not entering a debate. You are stating a fact of reality. The ocean does not argue with the shore, it simply meets it. Be like the ocean. When you cease bargaining, justifying, arguing, defending, explaining, you strip them of leverage. They cannot hook you if there's nothing to catch. This infuriates manipulators. They crave the reaction. They want the conflict, because in conflict they can distort your words. In stillness, they are alone with their own toxicity. Emotional sovereignty is the ultimate armor. It lets you watch people instead of being consumed by them. You start to see the strings. Ah, he's using obligation to get my time. Oh, she's using withdrawal to elicit an apology. It becomes a play you are observing, not a drama you are drowning in. And as an observer, you can choose not to perform. You can leave the stage. The only way to win with a user is to decline to participate. We must reframe your identity. You've confused constant availability with worth. You think, if I am always here, I am valuable. Incorrect. Sand is everywhere, so we walk on it. Jade is unearthed with effort, so we prize it. You must shift your focus from being a helper to being a creator. Helpers get used. Creators get commissioned. Helpers hope for thanks. Creators establish terms. What are you creating? Are you forging your health, your mind, your legacy, or are you just fetching materials for another's monument? When you dedicate yourself to your own mission, you naturally become less accessible. You aren't pretending to be occupied. You are occupied. You are busy constructing a life that does not hinge on their approval. This is magnetic. People are drawn to purpose. When they see you moving toward a vision, they want to be near it. They will pursue you. But this time, they pursue because they value your essence, not your convenience. This is the evolution from pleaser to author. The author has a manuscript. They have a vision. They do not have time to edit your minor subplot because they are writing their epic. If you want the author's attention, you must bring something of comparable value. You must rise to the occasion. This filters out the drains. Drains seek entry points. They seek frailty. They cannot latch onto a shooting star. Become the star. Have a purpose that transcends your relationships. This may sound detached, but it is the foundation for healthy connection. If your partner is your entire universe, you are an anchor. You are weight. If you have your own universe, you are a companion. You are an enigma. You are a worthy challenge. And the human spirit is ignited by a worthy challenge. We cherish what we must earn. Stop giving it away without cost. Design a reserved space in your life. Not everyone gains entry. The admission fee is respect. The admission fee is mutual exchange. If they cannot pay, they remain outside. And you feel no remorse because you know the worth of what lies within. The highest betrayal is the one you commit against yourself. There is a transgression more severe than any other. It is the sin of self-abandonment. Every time you agree when your soul screams no, you betray yourself. You tell your deepest mind, my needs are irrelevant. My instincts are faulty. My peace is negotiable. Do this enough and you will cultivate a deep, boiling self-contempt. This is the source of your exhaustion. You are not tired from labor. You are tired from the civil war inside your skull. The war between the part that wants to thrive and the part that is slowly self-destructing to appease others. You must end that war. You must declare peace with yourself and a firm stance against disrespect. This is the shift. You must become willing to be the antagonist in their story so you can be the protagonist in your own. They will name you selfish. They will call you heartless. They will claim you're different now. Correct, I am different. I have ceased to be sustenance. Let them tell their tales. Let them cast you as the obstacle. The obstacle is often just the one who built a wall where none stood before. The obstacle is the one who placed their sanity first. On the roll. If safeguarding my spirit makes me the obstacle, then I am the obstacle. When you accept this, their tactics turn to ash. Guilt only works if you believe you should feel guilty. Shame only works if you concede you are shameful. When you nod and say, perhaps I am, you have disarmed them completely. This is strategic detachment. It is the final liberation. The liberty to be misinterpreted. The liberty to be disliked. Because the cost of universal likability is self-loathing. And that is a price you can no longer pay. Your peace is not a luxury. It is the foundation of your power. Picture yourself 6 months from now. This version enters a room and does not seek permission. This version speaks with measured clarity, free from apology. When an unreasonable demand is made, this version says no with a peaceful smile and feels zero remorse. This version draws respect effortlessly. People gravitate to this version because they find stability in its strength. They know the boundaries. This version is not exploited, it is consulted. This version is not depleted, it is energized. This reality is accessible to you, but it demands an offering. You must sacrifice the familiarity of the cage. You must sacrifice the fantasy that if you are just kind enough, the world will repay you in kind. The world is not kind. The world is neutral. It respects leverage. It respects authority. It respects those who respect themselves first. You must teach people how to engage with you, and you teach them not with speeches but with conduct, with the behaviors you refuse to endure, with the times you depart, with the silence you maintain. This is the dialect of the subconscious, and once you are fluent, the rules change for good. You will glance back at the person you are today, the one pleading for crumbs of regard, and you will not know them. You will see a stranger who faded so you could emerge. Be unwavering with that old self. Be compassionate, yes, but unwavering, because that old self is what keeps you contained. And the world does not need you small. It needs you expansive. It needs you sovereign. If this resonated with you, understand this is merely the surface of what can be shared openly. To truly fortify your mind, to build unbreakable boundaries and understand the deeper layers of psychological dynamics, the journey continues. The best way to support this channel, Winds of Thought, is to hit the like button. It tells the algorithm this matters. And if you're ready to go further, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Your growth is the mission.